basic characteristics of a population are whatever the population group shows many important characteristics, of which the few are: the first one will be the size of the population, size and density. Second will be, you will be having the natality. Next you will be having mortality. Next characters will be survivorships. You will be having age structures, and you will talk about migrations, and you will talk about different growth forms of population. Right. So, these are the basic characters which we will take into consideration when we are talking in detail about a particular population and its ecology, right. First is the size and density. Okay. Here first we will take these all will come as population size and density, population natality, population mortality, population survivorship curves. This is called as survivorship. Next, population age structure, population migrations, next population growth forms. Okay. Now, the first we will deal here is population size and density. So, what is population size and density? First characteristic, as we said here, it will be population size and density. What is population size here? For example, the number of individuals existing in a total, the number of individuals which are existing in a population is called as the size of the population. This is basic concept here. Size means the number. If there are 100 individuals living, then the size of the population will be 100, right. So, in the same way, next, what is density here? The number of individuals inhabited in a particular area or per unit area. The number of individuals inhabited per unit area is called as density, right. Now, for example, this is also called as biomass per unit area. So, population density is also called as number of living individuals occupied or habitated at a particular area or at a unit area. This number of living individuals can also be considered as the biomass per unit area. For example, in a forest of some 10 acres land, there are 4,000 trees, right. So, there are 4,000 teak trees. So, here we can call it as the 4,000 trees as the size of the population and the area in which it is covering per cubic meter or per cubic area, then that is called as the population density of that particular area. Okay. Now, here in this regard we can also talk the large sized animals will have more density when compared to the smaller bodied organisms. So, what does it mean here? The large sized animals will have more density when compared to that of the smaller density bodied organism. Here also the population density also depends upon mortality. Here population density depends on mortality. The population density decreases, it decreases with emigration, with the process called as emigration. It is nothing but because of the death of organism. The population density decreases with the more process of immigration, and it increases with immigration or natality or birth rate. Right. So, in a population, when we are studying about the size of the population, when we are talking in terms of density, the density of a population decreases with the process called as immigration. Immigration is nothing but the mortality or death rate of that particular individuals in a population. The more the decrease, as we said, the more the death, the density of the population will be decreased. Now, if there is more increase in the life of the individuals in a particular area, if there is immigration or more birth rate, then the but population density increases. Now here when it comes to immigration or natality or birth rate, what will happen? This increase in the size of the population in a particular area will increase the population density. So how does this increase in population occurs? It may occur by the immigration of other individuals from other areas into the particular area, or other foreign birds or foreign animals will come and interfere or start living in the particular area where we are studying, or because of the multiplication or reproduction processes by sexual method or spores method. So by increasing the population in the particular area also, the population density of a particular area is increased. Population density is of two types: crude density, and second one is specific density. First one is crude density and second one is specific density. So in crude density we will talk about taking into consideration the population density measured per total area at a particular time. The crude density is nothing but the population density of total area per unit time. Unit time, or you can also call it as a for particular time. Okay. So crude density is nothing but population density of the total area at that particular time per unit area. Okay. So that is called as crude density, whereas specific density is nothing but population density per unit of habitat place which are actually colonized in that particular population. So the individual density per unit of habitat place. Which are colonized by the population is called as the specific density. Now here we can give an example of a particular plant. For example, if we consider this is as a forest, okay. Now in forest there are n number of plant species. Now here we will take a plant called as Acacia tora. Okay. This is the plant species or plant individual which is meant to grow only in shady places. It grows only in shady places. Okay. Now, how we can give an example of using this example, how you can define crude density. The crude density is, for example, this circle is a forest area, right. Now, crude density is nothing but the density of the total forest area, right. As we said, total area of that particular time. So, now at this particular time we are taking into consideration the density of total forest area, right. So then that can be considered as crude density. All the shady places, hot places, sunny places, all that area is total area, okay. Then that is called as crude density. Now what is specific density? In the whole forest there are some areas which are shady, having shady areas, and there are some areas which have more sunny areas, sun, and there are some semi-sunny or tropical areas type, right. So now here what is specific density? A particular plant named Acacia tora is believed to grow only in the places where there is more shade, okay. Now what is specific density means? The counting of density of particular plant or habitat place where it is growing, which is colonized by the population. So the density of all the shady and sunny places where this particular plant is growing is considered as specific density of that particular area. Means out of the total forest area, the shady area where this Acacia tora plant is growing can be considered as the specific density of that particular plant of that particular forest, right. So this is the difference between the, if you are taking into consideration the total forest area density per particular time, then that is called as crude density. This is difference between crude density and specific density. These are important. Now density is basically measured by number of individuals by density is denoted by letter D. It is represented by number of individuals n, areas in which we are talking about, areas is considered as A, into unit time. Right. So, it can be represented like D is equal to small n by A into T. This is the formula for the measurement of the density. On this also you will get some question, number of individuals by areas into unit time. This was the first characteristics of population.